Hey guys, welcome back. If you didn't know this is part 2 of this series. If you still haven't seen part 1 yet, you can click here. Here's a quick recap of the story. There once were two siblings named Mugman and Cuphead who lived with their grandpa. One day they wanted to try their luck in the Devil Casino. They win a bunch of money and the devil shows up to raise the stakes by offering them the casino if they win one more time. Then Cuphead, who couldn't resist the offer, rolls the dice, even though Mugman tells him it's a bad idea. They end up losing to the devil and begs for a second chance. The devil gives them that chance by sending them to collect more souls for him. Then he kicks them out and they run home for help. Now let's get right back to the video. As you may know, completing the first island meant I could continue to the second one, which is what I did. Mr. Cube told me that this isn't over and I still had more bosses to beat. On our way to the next island, the old man stopped me and told me how much stronger I got since the start. He tells us with this new power, we will soon be able to beat Mr. Cube and even the devil himself. He then tells us to make the right decision when the time comes. Anyway, let's go to the new island. I wasted no time and got right into the first boss, Peppy the Clown. This clown was no joke. The first phase and the last phase was manageable, as it's only involved jumping over his dashes and avoiding the projectiles he was throwing at me. But the second and final phases was so bad it made me want to puke. Not only did I constantly needed to jump over the ragdolls while avoiding the balloon dogs, but I also had to dodge the baseballs coming at me, while I had to move to the moving platforms. And all the time looking out for the train was just too much. After many tries, I managed to activate my super just in time, eliminating all the penguins and getting a KO with a decent score. I got Beppy's contract and made my way to the next boss. Unlike Beppy, this guy had much more phases to deal with. At the first stage, he had 3 attacks. He could control truckable knives, throw cats that split into more cats, and the last one, yeah, just random stuff, pretty boring. The next stage was tricky. I had to move through pillars in perfect timing. On the third phase, I wasted no time and activated my super attack straight away. And then I just needed to dodge this weird ghost and his eyes until he's down. The next stage was by far the hardest. I needed to dodge the puppet's bullets while avoiding the hat's bullets. But I managed to activate my super attack and pushed through to the final phase, where his true form appeared as a giant genie. But once again, I activated my super attack, getting that KO with a decent score. I finally got the genie's contract and went on to one of the most difficult bosses in the game, Mrs. Bonbon. My first impression of Bonnie here was terrible. She cowers behind her castle and sends her underlings to fight instead. In the first 3 phases, she sends one of her underlings at random. Here's all the underlings. A giant candy that looks like a cone, a giant waffle, a walking candy machine, a ball with his kid, and a cupcake that is so annoying that he will come in my dreams. I died so many times that I had to get out and switch my weapon to the chaser, and got to work on winning this time. I defeated the cupcake, the waffle, and the candy machine, and then Bonnie completely lost her mind, just like me after this boss. The castle started moving, and that's not all, she started to throw her head at me, while I needed to dodge a giant rolling candy. Talk about insane. Lady, calm down. Anyway, I activated my super in time and got that KO with a decent score. I got Bonnie's contract and went to the store to buy a new weapon that is a must-have for the new boss. This weapon called Lobber is a mid-range weapon that shoots balls downwards and deals a lot of damage. I equipped it and went to the goofiest looking dragon in Cuphead. In the first phase, the dragon had 3 attacks he could use. He could shoot lasers from his eyes, spit fireballs, and attacking me with his tail. The fireballs can come from 3 directions: down, up, and both. In the next phase, he lies on the ground and lets fire spirits out. This is where the Lobber comes in handy because it's pretty much can't miss. But it still wasn't easy while the fire spirits were jumping on the clouds and I still needed to dodge them. The last phase was a complete nightmare. He was so much harder than the other 2 phases. The dragon became a 3-headed dragon that shoots fireballs. But if you accidentally hit the fireballs, they split into 4 tiny ones that are insanely hard to dodge. After so many fails, I knew I had to lock in to beat this boss. I dodged the lasers and the fireballs. At the second phase, I dodged all the fire spirits, and I reached the last phase. I wasted no time, activated my super attack as soon as I could. And after so many tries, I finally managed to beat him. At this moment, I was over the moon, thinking I just beat the hardest boss in Cuphead. I took his contract and went to the museum to grab my second super ability. All I had to do was to parry the ghost, and at the end, I gained the ability. Anyway, I moved on to the first run and gun on the second island. As soon as I got in, it's easy to see exactly what kind of run and gun this is. You have 2 platforms and a card. When you parry the card, it switches platforms, and you have to use that card to dodge attacks. At the second phase, you have to avoid the cannonballs while moving. And then, there's the giant saxophone blowing letters at you. At the end, I reached a giant wall, and when I defeated it, I crossed the finish line with a decent score. And with no time to waste, I went to the next boss. Wally Warbles. Wally here was a pretty tough boss with all his abilities. He could shoot bullets from his fingers, spit eggs that divided to 3 on impact, and summoning his kids. At the second phase, he got mad and began to throw his feathers. In the third phase, a baby Wally appeared, but he wasn't hard to deal with. At the last phase, he came back on a deathbed. Poor guy. So I sent him back to the hospital to rest, and got another decent score. I took Wally's contract and went to the last remaining thing on the second island. This run and gun was by far the most difficult one so far. The first phase, you bounce on a trampoline to avoid some balloons, and avoid some cannonballs that would take the platform I'm standing on down, and take down the cannons that shoot the cannonballs. Before the last phase, I had to defeat a mini-boss. At the second phase, I had to jump from platform to platform, avoiding the mustard, ketchup, and pesto coming at me, while eliminating the jumping pretzels. Then I reached the boss, which is a giant hot dog. I managed to beat him and cross the finish line and get a decent score. And with that, I have finished the second island. If you liked the video, make sure to like, subscribe, and ring the bell for more videos like these. Bye then, see you in the next island.